So, how's my little scientist? Are you finished with the Hall of Mirrors?
Almost. I've taken every mirror on the estate. Duncan is becoming quite curious. He's asking a lot of questions. I'm afraid he might interfere with our plans.
I can handle Duncan. He served his purpose. It's time I let him down gently.
No, it's too soon. She was supposed to wait. No! Ah!
Help me. Help me. Please. Gather my spiritual essence from the different symbols which lie around this island. Finally. You have gathered together enough of my spirit so that I can communicate, but we must hurry. This entire island is trapped in time. Some, like myself, are spirits without a body. Others were less fortunate. They roam the island, poor, hapless zombies. No one can rest while the water clock exists. You must go quickly to the attic and destroy the water clock.
Oh dear, so many scratches, bruises, bites, and nasty gashes. I can give you a healing dose, but first, you must come very close.
I'm gonna need you down at the dock tonight. We're expecting another shipment of arms.
Well, boss, where am I gonna put all this stuff? I mean, the storage room is almost full. I can't even walk in there.
Guess you'll just have to stash it around the grounds.
Well, I don't like it. I mean, booze was one thing, but guns, I don't know.
Quit worrying, Mike. Our new associates from Chicago will be here this evening to take the guns off the island. They will pay us handsomely for the arms. They have new contacts. We can expand. This is only the beginning.
You know, I had a dickens of a time with those bugs. I sent an exterminator into the cellar, but he never came back.
I say, Robert, you haven't been meddling with my specimens, have you?
What specimens were these, Mr. Fleming?
In particular, my dung balls.
You mean those little clots of manure?
Those clots of manure, as you call them, were once pushed by the scarab beetles of Amun-Ra.
Well, they have ample followers now.
Why do you say that?
I dispatched them to the sewer.
Would you get me a plunger, Robert?
Hey, gorgeous. How you do?
Hiya, Mikey. Caught any intruders?
Nah, but I wouldn't mind catching a little redhead.
Ah, knock it off, Mike.
Sorry, I just hate to see a beautiful dame go to waste.
You think I'm beautiful?
Are you kidding? You are a goddess. You are like a moonbeam. You're like the stars. You're like scrambled eggs. Sorry, I just love scrambled eggs.
Just wish Duncan felt the same way.
Hey, you don't want to get mixed up with Duncan. Besides, I thought he and Tess were going to get married.
Oh, Tess won't marry anybody. She doesn't have to. She already has everything she wants.
That's the truth.
What?
Nothing. How about a drink?
Ooh, I'd love one. Every bottle in this house is empty.
Well, I know where Duncan keeps a little stash. Oh, you better bundle up. It's going to be getting cold.
What a curious thing. What do you suppose it means?
Lydia, don't you know anything? It's for playing shuffleboard.
I thought it was another one of Tessa's magic symbols.
Well, a mathematician would call it magical. You see, each row, column, and diagonal adds up to 15.
Oh, Byron, you can be such a bore sometimes. You look ravishing, Tess, as always. One would never guess how old you really are.
Why, thank you, Lydia. And you've managed to hide all trace of your late-night carousing.
I was out late, wasn't I? With the rest of the youth. Oh, listening to Duncan's stories. drinking from his starry eyes.
That's not all you were drinking from. But I suppose you can't help it. You have inherited your father's penchant for alcohol.
Please, leave Daddy out of it.
I'm sorry. Poor darling. It was a tragic death. Did they ever manage to find the body?
No, the current must have swept it away when his car went over the bridge. Why are you laughing?
I just can't believe that he actually managed to wipe out an entire crew of racers as they rode down the Charles River. It must have been quite a sight.
Dad never liked to drink alone.
And your mother's reaction? Not a tear. She just up and joined the Women's Christian Temperance Union. Duncan wouldn't be in business if it weren't for them.
Yes, well, he'd better hope she doesn't show up here with her prohibitionists.
We just have to lock them up in the wine cellar.
Ooh!
If I'm right, this ritual will give me eternal life, but one slip up and I could join the pharaohs. Yeah. There's no way this body is going to grow old. No way this mind will grow feeble. I was meant to be young. Isis, wife of Osiris, daughter of Geb, and not hear my plea. Take the essence from my body and transfer it into these symbols, just as the parts of Osiris were scattered throughout Egypt. Osiris traveled the Nile sealed in a chest. So goes my heart in a similar box. Hear my words. Leap like a mouse running in the field of reeds. He who is Khepri at dawn, Ra at noon, Atum at nightfall.
So, Robert, tell me, what do you think of Mr. De Vries?
Well, it's really not my place to comment on Miss Conway's associates.
No, of course not.
But since you're practically a member of the family...
Yes, do go on.
Well, I don't trust the man. Tess met him a scant 6 weeks ago, and he already acts as if he owns the place.
I've known Tess for 5 years.
And that crude little friend of his he brought in to guard the estate. The estate never needed guarding before.
She hardly notices me when Duncan is around.
And that riffraff that he invites out to these garish parties.
What could she possibly see in him? He's hardly an intellectual.
If it weren't for my devotion to the Conways, I think I'd leave.
Well, it's been nice talking to you, Robert.
Oh, always a pleasure, Mr. Fleming.
Once Tess performs the ritual, the power of the clock will be hers to command. How do I know she won't cast me aside? Perhaps I should perform the ritual. But then my soul would be lost forever. That's just too high a price to pay. Besides, she needs me.
Stay away from Tess. She's trouble. Real trouble. Duncan will tell you. Except Duncan ain't what he used to be.
Invitation. I'm afraid you'll need an invitation. This is an exclusive party. You're wasting your time. The party is for guests only. You know, a clever person might get an invitation from another guest. Welcome to the Conway Estate.